And we have an update on last night's shooting in Haywood County, where sadly a high school student has died, 4 others injured after a pre-prom gathering in Brownsville.
It was supposed to be one of the best nights of her life. The dress was picked out, the shoes matched. The park was packed with her classmates, all dressed up, all smiling, all of them gassed up on the kind of excitement that only hits once in your whole high school life. Phones were out, music was playing, mamas were fussing over their daughter's hair one last time. Dads were standing back trying to hold it together while their kids posed like the young kings and queens they were. That was the plan. That was supposed to be the memory. And by the end of that night, she was gone. Her mama was not picking out corsages anymore. She was picking out a casket. She was standing in a funeral home choosing what her 17-year-old daughter would be buried in. Let me let that sit for a second. 17 years old, prom dress, casket, and the whole town of Brownsville, Tennessee lined up on the sidewalk outside the courthouse to watch the hearse roll past. Because that was the only thing anyone could do for her now. Her name was Saturah Hayes. And this is her story. You are watching Drifting Truth TV. We tell the stories that need to be told: the disappearance, toxic violence, domestic abuse, the blackmail, and the lives lost. We tell the truth. Now, if you are watching, kindly subscribe, drop a like, and turn on notifications. Satara was a senior at Haywood High School, class of 2026. She was 17. She had a job at the McDonald's over in Bells, Tennessee, and she showed up to every shift like a professional. Girl, we are talking about a teenager who was already doing the work, clocking in, doing her part, saving her coins like somebody twice her age. The people she worked with described her the same way her classmates did, the same way her teachers did, the same way anybody who ever crossed her path did. She was nice to everybody. She smiled in the hallways. She was the kind of coworker you actually looked forward to seeing when you pulled up for your shift, because she made the whole environment lighter just by being in it. One of her McDonald's coworkers went on Facebook and kept it plain and simple. Said, Satara was a good worker. She was nice to everyone, and she will be truly missed. Moving on, because what her best friend posted is the part that really stopped people in their tracks. Her best friend called her my chocolate china doll. Said Satara was the one she leaned on, the one she had made a silent promise to protect from exactly the kind of thing that ended up taking her life. That post traveled far and fast, and people felt it. Because every Black woman who has ever had a ride or die best friend understood every single word of it. Because there is a specific kind of pain that comes when the person you always called is the one person who is not picking up anymore. Another one of Satara's friends posted about being scared to go to baseball games alone. Said Satara would just go with her. Every time. No hesitation, no complaints, just, okay, let's go. She talked about missing her laugh, about missing seeing her face in the hallway. Said all the memories hit at once the moment she saw Satara on the ground. Think about that, being a teenager. And the last image you have of your best friend is her on the pavement after a shooting. Her superintendent, Amy Marsh, released a statement calling Satara a hardworking student with a positive attitude, full of potential and promise, with hopes and plans for the future that will now remain unrealized. Hopes, plans, a whole future she was building piece by piece. Gone. Look, there is a kind of girl every Black high school has. The one who shows up to the baseball game with the friend who does not want to go alone. The one who is never late to her shift. The one who waves at you in the hallway, even when you barely know each other. Because she just moves through the world like everybody deserves a little warmth. That was Satara. That is why this hit the way it hit, not just in Brownsville, everywhere. Now let me set the scene for you, because you need to understand where this happened and what it meant.
can't take you nowhere.
Watch this video.
Webb Banks Park, Brownsville, Tennessee. Key Corner Street. If you have never been to Brownsville, picture a tight-knit small town in West Tennessee. The kind of place where the high school is the heartbeat of the whole community. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody has history with everybody. Your mama's coworker went to school with your auntie. That is Brownsville. Webb Banks Park is where Haywood High seniors have taken their pre-prom photos for years. Not last year, not the year before, 4 years. Generation after generation of kids standing in that same park in their gowns and suits, getting their pictures taken, carrying on a tradition that felt as safe and routine as anything in that town. A former Haywood High student named Emma Milton, who took her own prom photos at that very same park, told a reporter what the whole town was saying, that every year people come out there
to take their pictures for prom. I did it. It's just, it should have been a very safe place for them. It's just really sad.
Sunday. Pictures for prom. She did it herself. It should have been a safe place for them. It should have been. On the evening of May 8th, the park was full. Over 100 students. Cars lined up bumper to bumper, parents, aunties, little brothers and sisters running around between the adults, phones up everywhere, gowns swishing, suits pressed. Somebody had a ring light set up. Somebody had music going. Mothers were straightening their daughters' dresses one last time. Fathers were trying not to cry while their boys posed with their dates. This was the class of 2026, looking their absolute best on a night they thought would be a core memory for the rest of their lives. And it was. Just not the way any of them planned. And then the shots started. Anyways, here is what the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirmed. Officers got the call that Friday evening and responded to Webb Banks Park. When they arrived, they found 5 people down with gunshot wounds. All 5 were rushed to the hospital. 4 of them survived. Satara did not. She was pronounced dead. One of the other 4 victims was still listed in critical condition as of the last update. The TBI's early read on the situation pointed toward multiple groups being involved. They are looking hard at the possibility of a drive-by. Somebody rolling up on a park full of children in prom dresses and opening fire. Make it make sense. Because it does not. Over 100 kids in gowns with their parents on what should have been the best Friday night of their senior year. And somebody decided that was the moment. That was the time to handle whatever they had going on in a park full of children. Within minutes, the same parking lot that had been full of corsages and ring lights and tripods was flooded with squad cars, ambulances, and flashing lights. Kids who came to take pictures were running. Parents were screaming out their children's names. Phones that had been recording prom videos were now recording chaos. The TBI rolled in. Brownsville police rolled in. State troopers rolled in. Haywood High's prom was shut down early that same night. Schools closed the following Monday so students, families, and faculty could grieve. Because honestly, what do you even say to a senior class that just watched their classmates get shot in their prom outfits? What is the right word for that? There is not one. The case landed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, working alongside Brownsville police and Tennessee state troopers. And right now, no arrests, no suspects publicly named, no confirmed motive, nothing solid to point at yet. What the TBI did do was put out a direct ask to the public. If you were at that park that evening, if your kid was there, if your cousin sent you a video, if you saw a car you did not recognize roll past Webb Banks Park that night, they want to hear from you. The number is 1-800-TBI-FIND. You can also email tips to tbi@tbi.tn.gov, and yes, you can stay anonymous. Because here is the thing about a town the size of Brownsville. This is not some big anonymous city where you can vanish into the crowd. Somebody at that park saw something. Somebody knows whose car that was. Somebody heard somebody running their mouth afterward. The math on a town this size does not lie. The people who did this have people, friends, family, somebody they came home to that night. And those people are sitting right now making a choice, whether to stay quiet or to pick up the phone. And while they are making that choice, a mother is planning a funeral, and another family is sitting in a hospital waiting room praying their child pulls through. Oh, so now the streets are quiet? Now everybody's lips are sealed? Like, Haywood County Sheriff Billy Garrett Jr. went on record and called it a senseless, tragic event. He pledged his office's full resources toward getting justice for Satara's family. Brownsville Mayor William D. Rawls echoed that, said no family, no student.
It's just senseless. It's not called for, but we want to support the family in any way that we can during this time of need. I can't just tell you how much it bothers me and everyone in this community that we have to be.
No community member should ever have to live through something like this during a time that was meant to be a celebration. Strong words, and Brownsville is going to have to back them up. Not with statements, but with information. The Sunday after the shooting was Mother's Day, and instead of flowers and brunch and lazy Sunday mornings, hundreds of people poured into downtown Brownsville and lined the streets around the courthouse. Old folks, young folks, classmates, teachers, strangers, shoulder to shoulder, all of them waiting on one thing, the hearse. When that mortuary van rolled past carrying Satara's casket, the cries that went up could be heard streets away. Grown men weeping, grandmothers holding each other up, teenagers, kids who had been standing in that same park just 2 nights before in their gowns and suits, standing on the sidewalk watching a casket roll past that belonged to somebody they sat next to in class. Mayor Rawls stood with the crowd and did not try to dress it up. His words were, "We shouldn't be here today doing this. It's just senseless." A neighbor of the park named Patrick Holmes put it even plainer. He said, "At Mother's Day, and now you've got to plan a funeral for a sweet child like that. Make it make sense. Period. Because there is no way to make it make sense. There is not a frame you can put around it that makes it hurt less." A teacher at Haywood Middle named Jolene Haynes told a local reporter she had heard people calling Brownsville a lost cause. She said she disagreed, said she believes God is getting ready to move big in that town. I hope she is right, because what Brownsville does in the weeks that follow, who talks, who stays quiet, who hands over what video, who picks up that phone, that is what decides whether Saturah Hayes gets justice or gets forgotten. Those are the only 2 options on the table right now. Now, of all the grief that poured out of Brownsville in the days after the shooting, the words that cut the deepest came from Satarah's own sister. She was posting through it, and every post was raw, no filter, no performance, just a sister 3 days out from losing her baby sister, saying exactly what was in her chest. She wrote that she could not sleep, that Satara was literally all she saw every time she closed her eyes, that whoever did this had no idea what they had taken from their family, that her sister was an innocent bystander and somebody took her away from all of them. And then she got blunt. She wrote, and I'm quoting her directly, "Y'all beefing over stuff y'all don't own." Said those streets belong to the city, not to want to be thugs. Said Brownsville cannot progress because Brownsville is its own worst enemy. Let me tell you something. That line right there is the line of somebody who is not performing grief for an audience. That is somebody who is exhausted. Somebody who has watched this pattern play out before and is done tiptoeing around it. And in her next post, she made the family's position crystal clear. She said, "Do not bring them fake condolences. Do not bring them performative activism. Do not bring them woulda, coulda, shoulda energy. They want names. They need facts. If you saw something, Say something. That is a sister. 3 days into the worst loss of her life, asking the town to do the one thing that actually matters right now. Here is what stays with you after a story like this. Saturah Hayes was not a headline. She was not a statistic. She was a 17-year-old girl who showed up to her McDonald's shift on time, who walked with her friend to baseball games so she would not have to go alone, who smiled at people in the hallway, even when she barely knew them. She was somebody's baby, somebody's best friend, somebody's chocolate china doll. And she was taken, not in some dark alley, not in some place she had no business being, but in a park, in Broadview, surrounded by people who loved her, on a night that was supposed to be one of the brightest of her young life. That is the part that does not leave you, because the conversation this story forces us to have is not a comfortable one. It is about what happens when violence stops caring about who is in its way. When it rolls up on a parking lot full of children in prom dresses and does not flinch. When the innocent become collateral for something they had absolutely nothing to do with. Brownsville is not the first town to go through this, and unless something changes in the way people move, in the way people talk, in the way people decide what and who they protect, it will not be the last. But what Brownsville does right now matters. Every person sitting on information, every person who saw a car, every person who heard a name dropped in a conversation they wish they could unhear. Every single one of them has a choice in front of them, and that choice is going to determine whether Satara's name gets justice attached to it or whether it just becomes another name people say quietly when the anniversary rolls around. Her best friend signed off her tribute with one line that has been sitting heavy since the moment it was posted. She wrote, "Satara, I love you. Forever and always my chocolate china doll." Say her name, say it loud, and keep saying it until somebody in Brownsville picks up that phone. As of the time this script was written, this case remains open. No arrests have been made. No suspects have been publicly named. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is still actively working the case alongside Brownsville police and state troopers. If you have any information, a name, a license plate, a video, a photo, anything at all from that evening at Webb Banks Park, contact the TBI directly. The tip line is 1-800-TBI-FIND. The email is tbi@tbi.tn.gov. You can stay completely anonymous. What you know could be the thing that brings this family some peace. We will keep tracking this case on this channel. The moment there is an update, you will hear it here first. If you made it to the end of this video, it means this story landed with you the way it landed with us. So do something with that feeling. Share this video, put it on your story, drop it in your group chat, send it to somebody in Tennessee who might have seen something that night. You never know whose eyes it lands on. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss an update on this case or any of the others we cover here on Drifting Truth TV. Every story we tell is somebody's real life. Every name we say out loud is somebody's person, and they all deserve to be heard. We will see you on the next one.